Well, there goes that drill bit. Alright guys, welcome back to the garage. Gotten a little bit of late start today. Spent all morning running errands, trying to find supplies for today's video. But that's alright. It's a little bit afternoon now. Yeah, it's 12:45. But yeah, we're gonna get back on the S10 here. As you can see, I've got me some new headers here. The turbos are just I've just been kind of playing with where I want to put them. This isn't where they're gonna be, but these are the tubular headers that I ended up going with. I got these off Amazon. I actually picked up the Flowtech ones originally. So I've got the Flowtech ones still over here, but I'll put a picture up. The Flowtechs, the V-band here where the collector is, was like way out here. And they were just way too long for, you know, this little engine bay of the S10. So I'll put a picture up right now kind of showing the difference. But yeah, these were just Amazon cheapies, plus these have a polished finish where those were just natural, and I kind of like these ones better. They're gonna give me more room, stuff like that anyways. But here's like the main issue. You can see there, that's the steering column coming out right into that one primary, which I was kind of talking about in the previous videos. So we're gonna have to do something with that. I think it's going to be easier to modify the steering column than it is to modify the header, but we'll figure that out later. But for right now, I actually need to get this engine out. It currently has just an empty TH400 case behind it. A buddy let me borrow his empty case so that I get everything kind of mocked up and build these engine mounts while I was waiting for the case from Hughes. That way I could kind of keep going on it. But I gotta get this engine out. I wanna clean up the frame a little bit, maybe paint it, clean up the firewall, paint it, make it just look a little bit nicer under here. But first things first, we gotta get this engine out. So you might notice that it's a little bit dark in my garage right now. And a little bit, a while ago, it was about over a year ago, it was probably a year in March or so. I did a video when I was setting up my garage and doing all like kind of the remodel on it. I put in these LED ceiling lights and I did a video on it. And you know, they're pretty cool lights and everything, but it's been, like I said, just over a year now. And that one's gone out, that one's gone out, that one's gone out, and that one's gone out. And I've actually already replaced one. I had one extra that I put up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 10, half of them have gone out. And some of these that are still on, you know, there's like individual LEDs burned out. So it's a little bit darker in here. They're supposed to have a 3-year warranty on them, and I reached out to the manufacturer. They emailed me back saying, oh, we think it's a connection issue. Make sure you have a good connection. And I explained to them that because these are hooked in line, and I said the first one works and the last one works. So if it was a connection issue, that wouldn't make any sense. And so I kind of explained what I checked and this, that, and the other, and I haven't got a response from them. So kind of sucks, but so I don't really recommend these lights anymore. They're supposed to have a 3-year warranty. The company's based out of like France, so trying to get a warranty replacement is pretty much useless. So I'm just gonna have to find some new lights and put up instead of these ones. But anyways, that's just kind of an update on the lights if you guys have seen that video, and they only last about a year. I love it when you get this far and your jack just gives out on you. Like it's not doing anything, and I still gotta go up and over. Tell you, man, if it's not one thing, it's another. But at least I can stand in front of this nice AC blowing on my face, even with the door open. All right, got an engine all out. So the big reason that I'm pulling the engine out is because I'm actually going to be installing a manual rack and pinion in the truck. So we're going to get going on that here real soon. The reason why I decided to do the manual rack and pinion is because they claim it saves 35 pounds over the conventional steering. So I'm trying to save as much weight in the front as possible, even though I'm adding another turbo. I'm doing 2 little turbos instead of the 1 big turbo. But yeah, this is gonna save a bunch of weight on the front end, so hopefully it'll make up for that extra turbo that we're putting up here. So yeah, I'm gonna get going on the steering now and try and figure this out. As you can see, I've already got most of the stock steering already removed, except for the idler arm. We'll get to that in a minute. And got the rack and pinion up here kind of mocked up. Got my little laser level, trying to get center and level. Got the truck level, and yeah, we're just mocking this thing up right now. I've got this one mount on, and I think I'm gonna tack it once I get it where I want it. And then this other one, let me find it. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. This mount's gonna need to be trimmed down. It's too long. So once I get that one set where I want it, then I can go ahead and start trimming this down to fit. All right, I think I have this rack where it needs to be. I'm not 100% sure where it needs to go. I know that there's probably a whole lot of geometry and stuff involved. The instructions are pretty vague. When you look them up on their website, it just says when the rack is at the desired height, tack it in place. So I'm just winging it. Maybe right, maybe wrong, we'll see in the end. But so far, I've got it tacked in. I've got that mount kind of ground contoured to fit, to focus. But yeah, so there's a lot of extra bracket material down here, extra hanging down. And you can kind of see there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off so I can clean up the frame and get ready to weld it. But from right there, I'm just gonna trim it so that it still has that bend in it to give it a little bit of strength, but I'm just going to trim the excess off. This thing was kind of difficult to like figure out center and everything. That's why I took the boots off. So first I took the high rocks. Okay. Anyways, so first I took this and I turned it all the way to one way and then counted how many turns it went to go the other way, and it ended up being like close to 4. So I turned it back to 2. That was my center. And then I measured basically from here to here, split it in half. That got my center line measurement here. And then I obviously centered the frame and got a mark there, lined those up. But yeah, it was just kind of hard. And then measuring from here out to try and make sure that it's straight this way, just like nothing's the same on either side. So it was just kind of difficult to make sure it was level and straight and centered and everything like that. But I think we got it. All right, so looks fairly straight to me, but now I'm to the point where I've got to, with this kit, you've got to cut a hole through the cross member for your steering shaft to go through. And you know what? I bought this thing to hang pictures in my house, and all this time I needed it out in the garage. Because look at that. It's giving me a perfectly straight line right where I need to go. I can mark it. All this time I've had this thing and never used it out in the garage. And I'm loving it. It's making this so much nicer. So you guys ought to get you one of these if you don't. Laser level. Oh. Well, there goes that drill bit. Ah, damn it. Well, that's enough to piss you off. Looks like I'm not going to be drilling that hole out today. Let's just work on the tie rod and adjuster sleeve dilly my bobbers. Okay, so I've got these. Why won't my camera focus on anything? So I've got these threaded bungs that you like weld in tube. All right, so here's where, if you're doing this yourself, I would recommend just buying the kit from TRZ. It'll come with this piece already made, the hind joint, this adapter, and all that. And you're good to go. You don't have to spend this extra time making it. But like I said, I get all these parts from work, so you know, 165 bucks for the kit, where I'm into this maybe 60, 65 bucks, give or take a little bit, plus the material for the tube. So I've got these threaded bungs, and I've got this one adjusted about halfway in, give me some room for adjustment in and out. And then I've got this one adjusted with enough room for a jam nut, which I don't have right now, I forgot. But I got these fairly where they need to be, and then I've eyeballed the spindle for being about straight. I'm just going to measure from here to here, cut a piece of tube, and then weld it together. All right, so I got my piece cut. When I was trying to find material for these threaded bungs, like I couldn't find anything that fit this machine part very well, actually at all, because like this one fits in there, but it's loose, and then this one's smaller. So the rack's half 20, and the tie rod end's like 5/8 18. So that's kind of why it's kind of unique. You got to have two different sizes, and so this one fits in there like real nice and tight on the outer, on the big end. So I'll just weld that around, and then this one is going to be a little tricky, trying to make sure it's all centered and flat. But I'm gonna TIG weld these. I wanna practice some TIG welding, so I think I'm gonna TIG these in and see how it goes. Couldn't really find DOM that fit this tight like it's meant to be, so I don't know what they intend you to use, but it'll be all right. It'll work. I've only ever like TIG welded anything like 3 or 4 times in my life, so we'll see how this goes. Places. Started out teeny tiny. Ow, it's hot. Can't hold it anymore. But it's not too shabby. It might hold. It's just my steering. That's not too shabby. Maybe a little too hot? What do you guys say? I don't know. It's really blue. But not too shabby. And there you have it. One side's done. Now I just gotta do it to the other side. All right, and just like that, both sides are done. I did a little bit of cleaning up on the firewall, got rid of all the stickers, the coil packs, moved all that stuff, and got rid of the old idler arm. And you know, realistically, now that the stock steering's gone, like from here forward, if I really wanted to get crazy and save some weight, I could just and put tube out here like a race car. This is all gonna go because I'm ditching the little tiny 22-inch radiator that was in it. I got me a new one. It's a 26. It's over there in the box in the bed. So this is all getting redone anyways. So I may just cut these front frame horns off and do something out of tubing. Granted, we'll have to make mounts for the bumper. We could probably just cut these off, mount them to the tube, basically build a structure like this in a U shape out of tubing, and just weld these right back on where they go. Build a new core support because that one over there is trash. But I don't know, I'll think about it. But let me know in the comments what you guys think I should do. Should I cut the front frame off and just tube the radiator support and everything like that? I mean, it's gonna be a lot more work, but let me know what you guys think. But man, I'm spent all day working on that steering. It's crazy how time consuming some stuff can be. But anyways, I'm gonna keep moving along a little bit here, doing a little bit of cleanup and stuff. I also have to redo my brake lines because this front brake line used to, you know, contour the cross member before I cut it out. So now that that's gone, I'm gonna redo the brake lines, stuff like that. I'm gonna leave all these mounts just tacked up for now till I get everything done and I can cycle the suspension and make sure there's no crazy bumps here, nothing. The rack doesn't need to come up more, doesn't need to go down. I know I'm good for my oil pan. I had plenty of clearance for the oil pan. So I know that's good, but I want to cycle the suspension and make sure there's not any crazy bumps here. So for right now, I'm just going to leave this stuff tacked on and we'll fully weld it later and then clean all this up and get a nice coat of paint on it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think I should do. Should I cut these front frame rails off, save a little bit more weight? I mean, it's kind of going full race truck anyways, so let me know what you guys think. So that does it for today's video. Hopefully there was enough in here to entertain you guys. But my next video is going to be a little bit different. We won't be in the garage working on the S10. I'm actually going to be heading to Utah, back to my hometown of Heber City, and I'm going to be taking you guys to a demolition derby. One of my buddies, he's building a car. He's super into it still. Something that I used to do with him. But he invited me back. There's a really big show coming up and he's getting a car ready. And he just had a kid and he's still trying to get it done. So I'm going to fly up there on Thursday. So I'll be there Thursday, Friday, helping him get the car done, because knowing him, the car won't be even close to being done. So we'll get some footage of, you know, what it takes to build a demolition derby car, what these guys are putting into the cars these days. It's insane, the time and money that these guys are putting in these cars to wreck. But it's going to be super exciting. I'm stoked for it. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So make sure you guys are subscribed and ring the bell notification so you don't miss that. All right, guys, I'm going to go inside and edit this video. I'll see you on the next one.